And now for the loadout. First off, the weapons. The spear, which is your regular spear. All skills for the spear are acquired, so more damage and all of that comes with it. First is the Sky Hammer, which is our blast sling. This is the legendary blast sling. This is equipped with 5 of the elite freeze coils, and we'll go into those, or elite frost coils. This increases your frost damage and severity by 15%. Also has a chance to instantly enter brittle state by 5%. These aren't necessarily why we use these. Ultimately, the frost on story is enough to instantly freeze any machine. But the sling doesn't get much use unless you're using it against endgame bosses. So it's here really as a filler on the wheel, but is also useful in a couple of places throughout the run, either Tilda or when you're doing the Quen fight during Demeter, which we'll get to. Our hunter's bow is the Emperor's Reign. This is the legendary bow with the hardpoint arrows, which is what you'll use for this. Coils here are the elite overdraw coils, 5 of them. All of these increase your reload and draw speed by 25%, as well as overdraw damage. So when you're needing to fire quick, strong shots to do instant kills early game, this is what you're going to want. You also get some extra damage for stealth, which is a boost that you can use at the very first bristleback fight, as well as there's close range damage, more overdraw damage, and if you're ever in a bind, melee follow-up. Knockdown doesn't really happen on story, so it's just additional perk. Our Sharpshot bow is Iriv's Downfall. This is actually a legendary weapon from New Game Plus, not from the DLC. This is used because of the elite precision arrows and the fact that they ignore a lot of damage and just generally do more damage than any of the other precision arrows. This is used for focus shots, mostly to kill bosses and, to one-shot enemies from a rather long distance. This is equipped with all elite critical hit coils, which increase your critical hit chance and damage by 15%. These essentially will ensure that you're getting, as often as possible, the most damage you can get out of any given shot by getting a critical hit. And if you are attacking weak points on a machine, that can be rather hefty amount of damage. So this is both the loadout for story and also ultra hard. Moving on, because Sharpshot bow is pretty self-explanatory. Spectre Gauntlet is a new special weapon from the DLC with an upgraded version now that has a railgun. Using the designator and the railgun is extremely useful in essentially Zenith fights for both main game and the DLC. When you're fighting Eric in Letopolis, the explosion caused by the railgun will damage multiple rings on the recluse spider that drops from the ceiling, and so you can two-shot the entire kind of puzzle fight as a strat using this gun. There's also the fight with Landra in the DLC where you're able to explode multiple components of the machinery inside the Horus, so this becomes super helpful in those situations. That's the only point in the run that it is used, and it does its job quickly, and then we forget about it. We do have this blast sling, the Legacy's Reach. This is the New Game Plus blast sling. We use this mostly with explosive coils, as well as elite overdraw, so we can get some of that overdraw and reload and draw speed. The explosive damage is helpful when you're using these you know, early game, blowing up scrappers, or as a backup for if any fight tends to get out of control. These will do short work of anything on story. We also use this for the acid bombs. There's a strat in beta where when we're in the beta quest, where we will be knocking ourselves off of certain interactive points on the map that that hold us up, and so using the status of impact from the acid bombs will speed that process along. The spear that we use, the spike thrower, is the last argument. This is from the DLC, the legendary spike thrower. This one is used because it does more damage. That has an instant brittle chance as well, which doesn't come into play very often, but is kind of a nice to have if you're using it on the last boss. And then ultimately, just using this for long range and explosive damage, we've put on coils that are to that effect on story. So 3 explosive plus 12 and 2 long range plus 25. Ultimately, the elite coils on the last argument don't really help in any way. Long range and explosive tend to help and do the job the way it needs to be done. We use both propelled spikes and spike traps in the run, and this set of coils is enough to kill anything that we use it for. So that is the weapon outfit, and then or loadout, and we'll move on to the outfits. Only 3 outfits on story. We generally put on and equip we equip the Nora Thunder Warrior, and you can use a transmog of anything you like. I use the Tanakh Vanquisher along with the Mark of War face paint is just the transmog feature that I have. And then we also have Sobek's raiment. The reason we keep this in our inventory is because you're forced to wear this outfit at one point in the run during the 3rd act, and in order to use the coils that we would like to give ourselves the advantages we need, which are the evader and elite trap coils that I use, we want to have this in our inventory so that this supersedes the outfit that would be given to us by the CO during that section. So the Nora Thunder Warrior is used with an evader coil and a weapon stamina plus coil, plus 2. What that does is maxes out our weapon stamina for the run. You'll see as part of the skills of the outfit that there's a stamina regen plus 2 as well. Those are both needed to kind of max out our regen and our amount for stamina, in addition to what we've already increased as part of our skills. Concentration, deep concentration, and concentration plus, and any of the others are really kind of helpful in that we can do more damage if we're stealth and range, which is definitely something that comes into play in a few fights, as well as any heavy weapons we might pick up in the run. We can use to our advantage, which are few and far between in a New Game Plus run, if at all. All right. I need a drink. I'm gonna call it here.